Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Happy post-Christmas holidays. Hope you got everything that you asked for. It was a great holiday in our household. And today I've got a video that is a critique of something that is happening around here in Florida and that a frauditor, John Felix, has opined about and just released a video about. And of course, it's one-sided and slanted towards their really warped point of view. But nonetheless, he published it anyway, so it really deserves some balance. And if you look here, you can see exactly what we're talking about. Basically, Felix and his band of merry activists are, or were anyway, converging on City Council of Clearwater, Florida. And in the last section, sometimes it was the first section, but they moved it to last. Then they moved it potentially to another room. Then they got rid of it altogether, which is the citizen period for citizen comments. And what has happened is that Felix and his folks have abused that time period and manipulated it, I'm sure, and caused a lot of havoc, as these articles point to disruptive behavior, antics, and basically being troublemakers. And they're all doing it supposedly in the name of free speech, but free speech is causing them to make changes where even less speech is allowed, because here they have caused the city council to get rid of the citizen comment period altogether. Way to go, frauditors. That's just I don't even think frauditor is a right, correct word. It's more like freedom radicals. And I say that because if I believe in freedom, I'm sure you believe in freedom. I'm sure John Felix believes in freedom. But if we have two different ways of going about it, clearly. And in politics, you call that moderate and radical. So if you look at left-wing politics, you've got the moderates, the Jim Manchins, Senator Manchin. There are very few moderates these days on the Democrat side that are leftists. They're all radical, which are the AOCs and the people like Kamala Harris, the anti-law enforcement, anti-police, radical part of the party. And the right wing has it too. You've got moderates on the right, which are typically socially liberal but fiscally conservative. And then, of course, you got the radical right wing, which isn't MAGA. MAGA won by 70%. We've got, we're talking you might even call them sovereign citizen, maybe some libertarian strains are radical. Certainly the Proud Boys and right-wing militias, if there are any. You don't know what's true and what's not true, because the corrupt media has been telling us that there's right-wing white supremacist groups and militia groups out there that are our biggest risks. And Biden used to call it white supremacy was the biggest risk to the blacks, and that's just a bunch of crap. But if there are groups like that, they are on the fringe and they are radical. And then when you get to the free speech activists, you got the same thing. You got moderate and you got radical. And John and his band of cohorts that are always getting in the face of public officials and dog cussing the police and being socially unacceptable for the most part, think that they're doing God's work and being the radicals that they are. And but they're not. They're counterproductive. If you look at my list of 7 personality traits of First Amendment auditors or frauditors, or what I call freedom radicals, they're all the same. The very last one I think it's the last. No, the last one is criminal. Maybe the next to last one. I'm not looking at the list right now. I'm going to bring it up when I edit this video. But basically, counterproductive is one of these traits. And in this example with this video that John let out, what they have done in their activism has led to counterproductive results. They've stripped the citizens of a voice completely. So in supposed advocacy for free speech, they got free speech removed. And that is just laughable, actually. And that's typical of radicals. Look in the 1800s with slavery, and you had John Brown, who was the fire keg, if that's the word, the spark that led to the Civil War. But he led a band of similar-minded people, radicals, and took over a ferry with a bunch of arms in it, and thought he was going to lead a slave rebellion, and that didn't turn out very well, and got him executed for treason. So that's counterproductive, and you could say that he was productive because he sparked the Civil War, and the Civil War led to the end of slavery. I'm not prepared to really go into that argument maybe yet. It's interesting. But this isn't about the Civil War. This is about Clearwater City Council and them suspending public comments due to these guys' disruptive behavior. And it's not just this outfit that reported on it. You've got this outfit too. This is TampaBay.com. And they called it a YouTube circus and making residents feel unsafe. And this is their modus operandi. Are they taking a moderate approach to free speech activism? No, they're taking a radical approach to free speech activism. I'm not going to bore you with the entire city council meeting or even excerpts from it. Basically, it's all the city council members discussing why they are in favor, and it turns out 80% of them were in favor. One of them voted against it, but 80% voted yes, why they're in favor of getting rid of the citizen comment period. And really, after seeing this, and even with John's comments to the city council members, often derisive and dehumanizing, calling them idiots and scumbags, not very pleasant way to think about your elected officials. And it's very typical of the freedom radicals. There's no respect towards elected officials. That's why I say it's almost like a sovereign citizen mindset, where you just spit on anybody that is working for the government or a police officer, because they're very much cop haters as well. Anyway, the council members are all very pained. You can tell, not wanting to do this, but being forced to do this. And it just took a little bit of research to see why. And it's because in meetings past, apparently John and his gang of First Amendment auditors have come to these meetings and capitalized on the rules and manipulated their time. So probably they stretched the time and maybe never let them go. Probably kidnapped them, just like they accuse the police of kidnapping them when they're arrested. Maybe they were kidnapping the city council. That's possible. I didn't see the meetings or anything. I'm just reading the articles in the paper, and I saw this entire video that John put out today, and there's really nothing to it except that the council members are saying that the protesters have gone too far, and they're cutting into business and making it less likely that they will actually be able to get things done. So John and his folks have been counterproductive in their goals, because now there's no citizen comment period, and they're going to take a look at that, I think, on the 15th of January, and maybe revote again. I know John was asking for people to show up and support them as they, spit on, figuratively, the elected officials there, and call them scumbags and idiots and whatnot. But that's just par for the course for radicals. That's what radicals do. Look at this last election. Look who lost big time. It was the radicals, which is what we've had for the last 4 years in government, is a very radical approach to doing things. And what has happened is it's produced a lot of failure. And that's the problem. Radicalization doesn't work. It's not efficient. Look at communist countries out there. That they're great for the communists, but they're terrible for the people. And nothing works. Woke is you go woke, you go broke. It's just the way it is. And this is really a form of woke. What these guys are doing, being extremely radical and manipulating city council meetings and getting in people's faces and basically pushing the envelope and dog cussing cops and being social misfits, essentially because it's their right to be social misfits. Meanwhile, cops are out there risking their lives on a daily basis and getting killed on a weekly basis. And, I don't see First Amendment frauditors sticking their neck out like that. And yet they dehumanize and beat them down when really they should be doing the opposite. So anyway, that's the two perspectives here today. Enjoy the weekend coming up. Take care.